pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Denise, has this meeting been published in conjunction with the Open Public Meeting Act?
Yes, Chairman, it has.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Wise.
Here.
Fisher. Grillo.
Here.
Parikh. Roberts.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Denise. We have the minutes from our last meeting, which was May 15, 2025. I know that they've been circulated. They've been available for everybody to review. Are there any questions or need for edits to the minutes? If not, I would ask for a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Grillo.
Yes.
Parikh. Roberts. Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Chairman, if I may, all commissioners, in addition to your agenda package, there were two separate resolutions provided. One is a revision. The 2025-06-21 was revised almost 4 o'clock today. It had a change in the block and lot number. It's the only revision. So everything else is the same.
You repeat the number?
The resolution 2025-.06.21.
Thank you.
Okay, and then there's going to be another resolution also provided to you, 2025.06.34. It's not in a package. Again, it was 4 o'clock. And it's a good news, actually. Justin will explain it further in his report. But basically, we're passing a resolution recommending the speed limit decrease that was approved by the county for Main Street, our downtown area. So those are the two additional resolutions. There's also a report from Councilwoman Roberts about, that she prepares monthly financial that's included in it separately. And the last thing is in the package, well, the two things actually. One is the audit. We're going to talk about it next meeting, but we wanted to distribute the copy of the audit to you. And there's also a conceptual design plan from Sunshine Biscuit replacement by Hanover. And it's related to the resolution 2025.06.21. They're here, they'll make a short presentation. That covers it, changes.
Actually, you mentioned while you're at it, do you want to cover your executive director's report? And then we'll.
Commissioner, I'm going to turn it over to Zach tonight to do the executive director's report.
Hello. Oh, all right. So good evening, everyone. Nice to see everybody. So the first point is Sarah's working on the website with Apogee to design and launch a new modernized website for the agency. The website, as we said before, is going to be sarahnj.gov. It's intended to significantly enhance transparency, public access to redevelopment information, and overall agency communication. At present, we're in the transitional phase. Content from our webpage on the borough website is being moved over to the new platform. Apogee is also finalizing the layout and the design of the website, ensuring that it's user-friendly, visually appealing, and optimized for both desktop and mobile devices. Once it's completed, the new site will serve as a central hub for project updates, meeting agendas, minutes, redeveloper information, public notices, and other key resources. Through negotiation, the executive director was able to reduce the price to $6,600 for the hosting, design, and publishing costs. And then the annual hosting and publishing costs will be $6,500. The area need
Actually,
investigation.
that's a 2 years price. We have 2 years for $13,000. So I think we did a
Yeah, the original price was $13,000 for 1 year. That included
1
the
year
original
design and things.
and hosting. So now that's been extended to 2 years for a total of 13,000.
In addition to that, they're also going to offer us apps for Sarah app, so that you will have a, phone app that you can get updates and connects with that. So I think and it has a link now for Kevin to, attach to social media updates automatically. So it will flow through website, app, and the social media platform that we have. So
Yeah,
Thank you.
it'll let us get information out a little bit quicker and clearer. So the second point is the area need investigations that have been completed. Sarah recently completed the formal investigations of the former Sunshine Biscuit factory site, as well as the JCP&L property off River Road. The findings were presented to the planning board and were subsequently accepted, confirming that both sites meet the statutory requirements to be designated areas in need of redevelopment. Pending final approval by the Borough Council, Sarah will be authorized to draft amended redevelopment plans that formally incorporate these new designated areas into the existing redevelopment zones. The third point, area need investigations to be presented. Vina's working on 2 additional areas to be scheduled to be presented to the planning board for designation. These are the Ernston Road and Route 9 area, as well as the Crossman and Main Street area. Both locations have been identified due to their redevelopment potential, strategic location, and alignment with the borough's long-term land use goals. Sarah has completed the preliminary evaluations and will formally present these findings to the planning board in the coming weeks. I think it's going to be at the July meeting. Bina can clarify. Should the planning board approve the investigation, Sarah will proceed with drafting the final redevelopment plans for these sites. The fourth point is the Verizon land lease. Sarah has negotiated extending the land lease with Verizon from 2030 to 2035 with 5 additional 5-year extensions at $23,419.11 per year with a 3% annual increase. And then the last point is just the League of Municipalities conference forms have been distributed. I believe Denise has sent them all to you. If you're interested in going, please, complete the forms and hand them back into Denise, or you can email them directly to Joan or myself, and we'll make sure we get them in.
Thank you, Jack.
Questions or comments for our executive director or assistant? Seeing none, we'll move on. Attorney's report.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Tonight's agenda 0620, Starbucks recognition agreement. This may look familiar to the commissioners because it's the 3rd time you're seeing it. We approved it once last year. Starbucks Corporate Counsel requested changes to it. You approved it with those changes, I believe, at the last meeting. And then they apparently have changed their minds and want to go back to mostly the original language that we had in it in the first place. So they're asking us to approve it again in this form. And what this document does is recognizes that Starbucks is a subtenant to the master tenant being SSA. And that so long as Starbucks is paying their rent, even if SSA is in default, we'll let Starbucks stay there. It's fairly standard in the real estate industry to do this.
This has to remain whisper. We can't talk about this because if we talk about that and social media picks it up or newspaper picks it up, we're going to be under attack. So.
Except it's on TV. Oh, that was sarcasm. Sorry. Sorry, Executive Director. That's it, Chairman.
Any questions for our attorney? Otherwise, we'll move on. Vina, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, Chairman.
We're up to your report.
Thank you so much. Actually, Zach stole my thunder, but the latest update is, yes, we have successfully completed 2 area investigation studies for redevelopment, the JCP&L site and the Sunshine Biscuit site. Once the developer for Sunshine Biscuit site is being appointed, should the board members act favorably tonight, then I will pursue the redevelopment redevelopment plan for Sunshine Biscuit. And in the interim, I am gearing up to present 2 other area investigation studies. One is the Ernston Road site, and the other is Main Street and Crossman. And I plan on presenting it at the July Planning Board meeting. I believe it's on the 16th. I do plan to present that at that meeting. So finally, these studies and plans are coming to fruition, which is a good news for Sayreville.
Thank you. Any questions for Rita? On to the tent authorization. Oh, wait, I forgot the birthday boy. Today is just.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I shouldn't have said anything, but thank you.
Don't worry, we didn't get you a cake.
Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Sumanshu hinted at, we did receive approval from Middlesex County for the speed limit reduction on Main Street from MacArthur to Washington. There's a resolution today recommending it from Sarah to the Sayreville Council for approval and to create an ordinance for this speed limit. So that's good news. It's been a while, so we're happy that they approved it. And then for the Riverton site, work still continues. I received an update today from about the Bass Pro Shop. They have completed the slab on grade pour inside of the building. Roofing on the main levels have been completed, and they are beginning exterior finishes. The core and shell should be completed sometime this fall, and then they'll hand it over to the tenant to start the interior work, hopefully finishing sometime, continuing into next year. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Any questions for our engineer? I just want to thank you for those efforts, and particularly with the county and in our pursuit to be able to provide some relief to the business as well as the residents down on the Main Street proper area with that reduction of the speed limit. So appreciate that. Authorization for payment of bills. Total amount is $27,824.48, which is broken down to operating total of $25,563.48 and an escrow total of $2,261. Questions or comments?
Make a motion to approve.
Get a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise. Fisher. Gorillo.
Yes.
Parikh. Roberts. Scott.
Yes.
And Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes. Moving on, we have a discussion. I'm going to turn this discussion over to our executive director in relationship to raising redevelopment application fee.
I think it's going to be Wayne and I, will talk about it, but recently we enacted the application process for any new applications coming in. And, we were looking at it as a small fee of $500. There's a scale of fees but most project is $500. And it's a good thing we've been tracking that, in terms of our fees and the cost associated with that. And both application.
Basically, we're finding that the initial reviews, before it comes, even before the commissioners, just cursory reviews is in excess of $2,000, all right, with professional fees. So we're recommending that the fee be raised to $2,000, the minimum fee be raised to $2,000 for future
Application, right.
applications or corporations that want to come before the,
We learned that even to do the comprehensive, initial cursory review report, it requires particularly for engineer, rest of them, it doesn't require as much, but they need a more thorough review, even for cursory review to say, yes, we can go forward and bring it to you. The process is working, but it's costing us money. Let's put it this way. Before, there was no application fee. We always absorb, but I think we're trying to say, why should we absorb the cost if it should be an applicant's, cost? So we're asking you to increase that fees to $2,000.
yeah, see, because it's possible that the cursory review can be done and whatever attorney's review is required, and the project doesn't move forward where there's an escrow agreement or an agreement, redevelopment agreement that'll, include provisions for escrow funds. And here we incurred the cost, okay, without any, $500 is not that much, I'm sure, to a developer when they're doing a project today. Okay, so it's, after discussion, Himanshu and myself, we just thought 2,000 would be, a better starting point.
If there is no objection, we'll put that on the July agenda for a resolution for approval to increase the fees.
Question. I just want to ask, this fee, has it been compared to other redevelopment agency application fees? Or is this just the way you're operating? Raising the fees from what they are now to the 2,000?
That's a good question, and we haven't done survey of the fees, but the model we use from a bigger town, bigger than us, large city model that we adopted, they charge $5,000, starting $5,000. So this is not a normal, it's not like abnormal to charge fees for initial submission because there's work associated with that. And we are using consultants and we are paying them to do the work. So I think it's appropriate to have the fees. Initial thought was that, we want to make sure that applicants is serious to submit an application, and $500 would be reasonable. If somebody objects $500, then I don't know how serious it is for a redevelopment project. So that was a thought process. But after we established that it's working, we're getting an application, we learned that every one of those 2 applications we have received so far is costing us money.
I think I understand, the logic behind your question, Rosetta, but I think it's not necessarily an apples to apples question, right? Because we don't know who in those other municipalities is reviewing these applications, right? Are these in-house professionals? Are they outside consultants? Are they the same consultants that charge the same rate that ours do, right? So I think the better question, I guess Wayne has really answered it, is you've looked at a sample size of applications and you've determined that $2,000 is about the cost that Sarah incurs to review these.
Well, based on the 2 applications we've seen, the cost, the billing that took place, it has over, around $2,000.
Right. So there's a logic behind how you arrived at that number. And I think the 2,000 number is absolutely feasible. We're not talking about some small business trying to apply for a sign permit, right? These are large redevelopment projects, which require an enormous amount of review. So, based on the numerical data that Wayne's looked at, and I'm perfectly comfortable with the $2,000 number.
Yeah, this redevelopment law allows the agency to charge fees to, among other things, cover their costs and overhead. And if this were a $10,000 fee, I'd say you're going to chase people away and that's excessive. But if we have a track history where this is about the right amount that covers the initial review, I'm comfortable that it's allowed in the statute.
And just to keep in mind that we can, Mike, with legal advice is that we cannot ask for escrow from the beginning with the application until you designate them as a conditional or redevelopers. The escrow, we cannot ask for escrow. So this is the only recourse we have.
Everybody's okay with that? We'll put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Chairman, if you let to now, you can just do a voice motion. This is a everyday ministerial thing. We can transcribe it.
Better yet, then, can we do a voice or roll call vote to approve that?
And the motion, if I could state it, would be to raise the application fee for potential redevelopers from $500 to $2,000.
This is a motion to advance a resolution for next meeting?
No.
This is the final decision. Okay, just want to be clear.
So I need a motion?
Can I'll make the motion. Will we be numbering that 0.35 for tonight?
35.
Okay, thank you. I make a motion to raise the redevelopment application fee to $2,000.
I'll second.
Roll call. When you're ready.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Now we're moving on to resolutions. We have resolution 2025-619, which is resolution for Verizon Tower leased. Can I get a motion on that? Second? Second. Roll call?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise, Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts, Scott, and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes. Moving on to 2025-620. This is a resolution to amend Starbucks. This was discussed under our attorney's report. Can I get a motion and a second? Second. Roll call?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yeah.
Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts, Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes. Before we move on for approval for resolution 2025-621, I know that there are representatives tonight for HCI DP Land Acquisition LLC. We asked them to actually not to give a formal presentation of any sort, but just a reminder, because you were in front of us about a year ago, and it's just a kind of be able to refresh what exactly is being proposed.
Mark, you wanna?
Good evening. How are you?
Good.
For the record, Mark Policastro, attorney for the developer, and we have our engineer, Lindsay McQuaid, also here. I don't know where you want to put her. We have some slides that I think we can maneuver with the mouse, or,
These were included in the package, were distributed to the commissioner.
okay, great. So we made a presentation last year, I guess. And thank you for having us back. Love the project. We're committed to it. We're on all cylinders on outside approvals going forward. And so Lindsay McQuaid, you'd like to make a brief presentation?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the time. As Mark said, my name is Lindsay McQuaid. I'm a senior project manager with Bowler, representing Hanover as the civil site engineers. As you know, this is the Sunshine Biscuit site. So Hanover is proposing to demolish the existing facility and propose 2 new warehouse facilities. The total square footage of both facilities will be about 715,000 square feet. And there will be approximately 100 loading spaces, some trailer parking, as well as 330 parking spaces split between the buildings in the event that there may be multiple tenants. We do have some slides that I can share. Is this?
And in essence, the current building will be demolished. And you're
Sorry.
proposing the 2 buildings, which would actually be less square footage than currently that the larger building has,
Yes.
what I understand,
Yeah,
correct?
because the existing building has multiple stories. So ultimately, it is a net decrease in the total usable area. I didn't mention, but if I pull up the conceptual civil plan, you'll.
I just want to remind Commissioner that I think when first time we met and presented this application was already approved by planning board. It was for the addition to the existing building and combine that original application that is previously already approved by the planning board had a larger footprint, bigger building, bigger capacity than what they're proposing now. And that's one of the reasons we thought, yes, we should consider that. So that's an important distinction that everybody should be aware of that.
I just ask for clarification real quick. I've heard usable square footage and then I've heard footprint. So usable square footage, you're only doing 1 story, right? So there's less square footage.
Correct.
Is the footprint the same? It looks similar.
It's not. Towards Bordentown Ave, the footprint is expanding closer to the right of way. Whereas right now it's more towards the north of the site and that stacked multiple buildings, as well as it presses back towards the fields behind the property.
So the footprint is larger than
The
it is
footprint
today,
is larger than it is today.
but the square footage is less.
That's correct.
Thank you.
It's like a trick when you take over somebody else's computer. Oh, no, I think I got it. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this appears to just be the conceptual renderings of the site. So the view you're looking at here would be from the west side across Dirty Mill looking at the properties. Whereas this view is from the east side coming from Bordentown Ave. So you can see here, because you're all very familiar with the site, this space right now is not developed. So whereas the building footprint today sticks out a bit more back here, and then probably a third of the way, if not halfway through this proposed warehouse building. And then we are proposing to reuse and upgrade the access points. So the one off of Bordentown and the two off of Journey Mills. The car. We are going to reuse the access points. So the driveway is off of Bordentown Ave. So there will be one access point off of Bordentown Ave and two off of Journey Mills. And what you're not seeing on here is there's obviously a series of green infrastructure practices that would be proposed to handle the stormwater as a result of the development.
Talk again.
No, I know you wanted me to keep it brief, so I don't know if there were any specific
See the
questions.
the rendering of the building that was.
Okay, yeah, so this is a viewpoint for, you can see the loading at the rear, and then this is the passenger or employee parking and entrance to the office space. And then this is the view from Journey Mills. This is one of the access points I was talking about. So you will have office looking finishes at the corners of the buildings on Journey Mill as well.
I understand that this is a yes or no question. You can't get into specifics. Is this being built on spec, or are there potential tenants already lined up to utilize the space?
I can't speak to the current status. What we have been discussing is spec, but I know that as the project moves forward, the client was eager to start discussing with potential tenants. These aren't as pretty, but they are the elevations, the 4 elevations of the proposed buildings. And then these are the footprints.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity that you came in to be able to remind us what that is about. And just, I don't know, Mike, if you want to explain that, but I do know this resolution is to designate them as a conditional developer,
Yes, there's
redeveloper.
several conditions, Chairman, the adoption of a redevelopment plan, entering into a redevelopment agreement within 6 months, making payments of any escrows required, et cetera. So this isn't going to go into full effect or any effect until those steps take place. And I understand we've been tasked by the Borough Council with producing a redevelopment plan. The
Right.
council adopted a resolution asking Sarah. Council adopted a resolution asking Sarah to develop that redevelopment plan. So I'm sure Vina will be working on that shortly.
Understood. Thanks,
Okay.
council.
And the only additional edit that was made actually at 4 or 5 o'clock was to make it more site specific, right?
Yes.
To get the lot and
Just
block
to
for
the
this
one,
property.
the correct lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original, the presentation to the planning board for area need was for, there are additional lots, but with this redevelopers is on, certain lots, so that's limited to those lots.
Thank you.
Thank you. So to our commissioners, are there any questions on the resolution, whether the procedure or any of the conditions or anything else related to the resolution? If not, can I get a motion to approve in a second?
Make a motion to approve.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise, Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
No.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Moving on, we have resolution 2025-6/2022, resolution of resignation of Beth Magnani as recording secretary, and the answer is no. And a second?
Second.
You do need a roll call for that?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis, DeWise, Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Reluctantly, yes.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. We'll miss you.
And on good news, 2025-6/23, resolution of appointing Denise Shalinski as recording secretary. Can I get a motion? Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher,
Do I have to?
Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you both, Beth and Denise. Appreciate it.
Beth has promised to help Denise rest of the year.
Absolutely. No problem.
We have resolution 2025-6/25, resolution of Sarah acknowledging qualified professionals under fair and open process. Discussion?
Yes, so you have seen all the submission for professional services. This resolution simply says they're all qualified, their qualification is reviewed. This is not an appointing resolution, but we need to have this resolution. Subsequently, we'll have a discussion about, a closed session discussion about a specific appointment, and those will be listed under consent agenda, and an action will require after we come out of the closed session.
Questions or comments on this resolution? If not, I take a motion. Roll call?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts,
Yes.
Scott, and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes. And we have the additional 2025-6/34, which is the resolution adopting, recommending the speed limit to the Main Street proper area to be reduced to 25.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes. Any comments or concerns from our commissioners?
Brief comment, if
Sure.
you don't mind. So we've heard questions about, what's going on with the downtown visioning that we've been doing. I think tonight's a great opportunity to take a victory lap on fairly challenging item, getting the speed limit reduced. And so, there's questions in the community about what is the intent of this project? What is the progress of the project? I think we should all be able to communicate that this was a major issue that was in the report that was issued, I don't even know how many months ago now, but that was the number one item that business owners and residents were concerned about in the survey was speeding. And nobody would have taken that on if it wasn't for Sarah and if it wasn't for Sarah conducting that work. And so I think that is the beginning of a great process in the work that we're doing. And certainly want to laud our engineer for the hard work that can only imagine what it's like to try to get the county to reduce the speed limit. But it's a great part of the narrative of what we are doing and that it is a multi-step process. It is a collaborative process, but it was step one in hopefully what is a success in the downtown.
Well said. Thank you, Steve. Any other questions or comments?
I do have a comment.
Go ahead, Don.
There's so much good things going on in this Sarah board. Transparency, website, the videos that are going to be informational. the downtown speed limit that was just mentioned. So I think we've got a very strong, positive board, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to say something bad. There's good stuff going on, but.
All right, we better throw something in.
No, shh.
We'll leave it at no buts. And any other comments or questions? If not, can I get a motion to open to public comment?
Make a motion to open to the public.
Second. You need a roll call for that or just a no?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anybody from the public have anything to say? Any comments, questions? Anybody from the public? Anybody from the public? I'm sorry, you have to read that, right?
Yeah.
Well, then,
Read this.
right.
Yes,
So I'm not
please.
going to go back and do it again now.
To help keep this meeting as organized as possible, we ask members of the public to approach, state your name, and strive to limit your comments to 5 minutes. All comments this evening should refer to redevelopment and agenda items per NJSA 10-412A and the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency's rules. In the event a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made during regular business hours with the agency's office. Thank you.
And I don't hear anybody from the public. So can I get a motion to close public portion?
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Sorry, Beth.
All opposed?
Can I get a resolution for executive session?
A resolution of the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency to go into executive closed session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act enacted October 21st, 1975, permits a public body to exclude the public from meeting or portions thereof wherein matters to be discussed are exempt from the requirements of the act. And whereas the act requires that prior to holding a meeting or portion thereof from which the public is excluded, the public body must adopt a resolution in public that provides for the holding of a private meeting. And whereas the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency has determined that a meeting should be held from which the public is to be excluded to discuss subjects exempted under the Act, and now therefore be it resolved by the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency that it met in executive closed session under the Open Public Meetings Act on to discuss contract negotiations. Be it further resolved that the minutes of the executive closed session shall be made available to the public after official action on the subject matter has been taken.
Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Grillo.
Yes.
Parikh. Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
And Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes. Ladies.
We're not going to leave.
Yep.
So what you're going to do
Motion.
Second.
Can I get a, roll, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
Opposed?
Nobody. So
We gotta
before,
get Justin back in. Oh, he's here.
Justin is, but we can get Kevin back here. Right. So this is the point where we would ask for an adjournment, but before we do that, I think it's only fitting that we take a moment to thank Beth for her time on Sarah and all the work that she's done for us. You know, the same sentiment that Donna had, and that there's been a whole lot of work on Sarah over the last year or so that's really transformed it. It doesn't mean good, bad, or indifferent, but transformed it. And you were part of that transformation, and we really appreciate it. You're going to be missed. We're in good hands, obviously, but we appreciate all your efforts. We do have a certificate and some flowers to say thank you very much to you.
And I am only on the second floor, so I'm here.
Excuse about payroll.
Yeah.
We know where you can find you.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't forget about the consent resolution.
Yes, we got some.
So, We have the consent resolutions, which we can take in bulk, but I need a motion.
We
Or-
need
to
to
announce-
fill in the blanks first for
Okay.
the
Right.
positions. So
Okay,
what I suggest is I'll go down the positions.
Okay.
Indicate the name that would be filled in the blank. And then then the commissioners can move them in
Okay.
block.
okay.
So with regard to 06-26 agency attorney, Hoagland Longo, Moran Dunst, Dukas. For 026-27, McManaman, Scotland, and Bauman. For 06-28, agency engineer, CME Associates. For 06-29, auditor, Samuel Klein and Company. For 06-30, financial consultant, Phoenix Advisors. For 06-31, bond counsel, McManaman, Scotland, and Bauman. For appraisers, we're holding off at this time until they're needed. For bond counsel, which is 06-31, McManaman, Scotland, and Bauman. For bond underwriter, 06-32, which would be NW Capital Markets, Inc. And for agency planner, which is 06-33, VMS Plan.
We're gonna do a
Everybody.
block. Yeah.
So it would be, and I'll articulate it, and then a commissioner can make it. It would be a motion to adopt consent resolutions 2025-06-26 through 2025-06-33.
I'll make a motion to adopt
Second.
25-06-26 through 2025-06-33.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Davis, DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zarowski.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good job, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, if there's nothing else in front of the board, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.